My name is Emma Rodriguez. I'm 34 years old and a mother of 3 beautiful kids. Last month, my parents uninvited my children from our annual family reunion. Their reason? They're too loud and ruin everything. My kids are 8, 6, and 4 years old. They're just kids. When I told my parents we wouldn't come without them, my mother said something I'll never forget. "Fine, then don't come at all. We don't need the chaos." I hung up the phone and made a decision that changed our family forever. Stay with me. Because this isn't just about a family reunion. It's about the moment I realized my kids deserved better grandparents than the ones they had and hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second but means everything to me. Let me take you back to the beginning. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, only child. My parents were both teachers. My childhood was quiet, very quiet. My parents liked things calm, organized, peaceful. Children should be seen and not heard. That was my mother's favorite saying. I learned early to be quiet, to not make noise, to not disturb the peace. Our house had rules, lots of rules. No running inside, no loud voices, no toys in the living room. Dinner was at 6 p.m. sharp. We ate in silence mostly. Proper table manners, my mother would say. I wasn't allowed to have friends over often. They make too much mess. Birthday parties were small, just family. Quiet cake cutting, no games, no noise. Looking back, I realized my childhood was missing something important: joy. The loud, messy, chaotic joy that kids are supposed to have. But I didn't know that then. I thought that's just how families were. When I got older, I promised myself something. When I have kids, they'll be allowed to be kids. Loud, messy, full of life. I met my husband Carlos in college. He came from a big Mexican family. His childhood was the opposite of mine. Loud family dinners, kids running everywhere, music, laughter, chaos, beautiful chaos. "Your family is so fun," I told him once. He laughed. "They're crazy. But yeah, I love them." I loved them too. They welcomed me with open arms. Carlos and I got married when I was 26. My parents came to the wedding. They sat quietly in the corner while Carlos's family danced and celebrated. "Do they always have to be so loud?" my mother whispered to me. "They're happy, Mom. They're celebrating." There's a way to celebrate with dignity. I ignored her comment. It was my wedding day. I was happy. 2 years later, we had our first baby, Mia. She was beautiful, perfect. And from day one, she had a strong voice. When my parents came to meet her at the hospital, she was crying. "Can't you make her stop?" my mother asked. "She's a baby, Mom. Babies cry." "Well, you never cried this much." Carlos and I brought Mia home. Our small apartment filled with baby sounds, crying, cooing, little baby noises. I loved every sound. When Mia was 6 months old, we visited my parents for Sunday dinner. It was a tradition we'd started. Every other Sunday, we'd have dinner at their house. Mia was in her baby phase. She babbled, she squealed, she dropped her toys, normal baby stuff. But I noticed my mother's face getting tighter with each sound. "Can you keep her quiet?" she finally asked. "Mom, she's a baby." "I know, but we're trying to have a conversation." Carlos picked Mia up. "Let's go look at the garden, princess." After dinner, as we were leaving, my mother pulled me aside. "Emma, you need to teach that child some manners. She's 6 months old. It's never too early to start." I didn't say anything. I just left. 3 years later, we had our second child, Jake. Jake was even louder than Mia. He laughed loud. He cried loud. He played loud. He was full of energy and life. I loved it. Carlos loved it. But my parents? They were less thrilled. Our Sunday dinners became stressful. "Mia, please don't run in the house." "Jake, inside voice, please." "Can you make them sit still?" When Mia was 5 and Jake was 2, we had our third baby, little Sophie, 3 kids. Our house was full of noise, toys, laughter, life. It was messy. It was chaotic. It was perfect. But my parents started making comments. "3 kids? That's a lot. Your house is always so messy now. Don't you get tired of all the noise?" No, I didn't. because unlike my quiet, lonely childhood, my kids had joy. Every year, my parents organized a family reunion. It was a big deal. They'd rent a cabin in the mountains for a long weekend. My aunts, uncles, and cousins would come, about 20 people total. Most of my cousins didn't have kids yet, and the ones who did had older, quieter children. The first reunion we attended with kids, Mia was 3 and Jake was a baby. I was nervous. "Just keep Mia under control," my mother said when we arrived. "She's 3, Mom. I'll do my best." That weekend was hard. Mia wanted to play, run, explore. "Mia, slow down. Mia, be quiet. Mia, come here." I spent the whole weekend chasing her and apologizing. Jake cried at night. He was teething. "Can you keep him quiet?" my aunt asked. "He's waking everyone up." "I'm trying. He's in pain." Carlos and I barely slept. We took turns walking Jake outside so he wouldn't wake people. At breakfast on the last day, my mother made an announcement. "Next year, let's try to make this reunion more peaceful. Maybe we can set some ground rules." Everyone nodded. I felt my face get hot. The next year, I had Sophie too. 3 kids now. "Are you sure you want to bring all 3? My mother asked when I told her we'd come. "They're my kids, Mom. Of course they're coming." "It's just, last year was difficult. They were babies. What did you expect?" That reunion was worse. Mia was 4. She wanted to play with her older cousins, but they ignored her. "She's too little," they said. Jake was 2, the terrible 2s. He threw tantrums. Sophie was a baby. She needed feeding every 2 hours. I was exhausted, and everyone kept making comments. "Can you control your children? Why are they so loud? The baby's crying again." My cousin Michelle had a daughter the same age as Mia, but her daughter was quiet, calm. "How do you get her to be so well-behaved?" I asked. "I don't know. She's just naturally quiet." I looked at Mia running around, laughing. "Being a kid, Mia's naturally loud," I said. "And that's okay too." But I could see the judgment in everyone's eyes. On the drive home, Carlos held my hand. "You're a great mom," he said. "Then why do I feel like a failure?" "Because your family makes you feel that way, but you're not. Our kids are happy. That's what matters." He was right, but it still hurt. The following year, things got worse. Mia was 5, Jake was 3, Sophie was 2. They were at peak loud ages. Before the reunion, my mother called. "Emma, I need to talk to you about something." "Okay?" "Several family members have mentioned that your kids are a bit much at the reunions." "A bit much?" "They're loud. They run around. They interrupt conversations." "They're kids, Mom." "Other people's kids manage to behave." "Other people's kids are older or quieter. Every kid is different." "I'm just saying, maybe you could, I don't know, prepare them better." "Prepare them for what? To not be kids?" She sighed. "Never mind. Just try your best." That reunion, I was on edge the whole time. I watched my kids like a hawk. "Mia, don't run." "Jake, be quiet." "Sophie, stop touching that." I was so stressed that I barely enjoyed anything Carlos noticed. "Emma, relax, they're fine." "Everyone's staring at us." "Let them stare. Our kids are being kids." But I couldn't relax. At dinner one night, Jake accidentally knocked over his juice. It spilled across the table. "Oh, for heaven's sake!" My mother jumped up. "I'm sorry, Mom. It was an accident." "This is exactly what I'm talking about," she said, wiping up the juice. Jake's lips started trembling. He knew he'd done something wrong. I picked him up. "It's okay, buddy. Accidents happen." My mother shook her head. "In my day, children knew how to sit properly at a table. In your day, children were afraid of their parents," I said quietly. She looked at me sharply, but didn't say anything. That night, I heard my mother talking to my aunt in the kitchen. I wasn't trying to listen. I was getting Sophie's bottle. "I don't know what Emma's doing wrong," my mother said. "Those kids are out of control." "Maybe she's too soft on them," my aunt replied. "She lets them run wild, no discipline." "Well, what can you do? Some people just aren't meant to have multiple children. I stood in the hallway, bottle in hand, tears in my eyes. Carlos found me there. What's wrong? They think I'm a bad mom. Who? My mom, my aunt, probably everyone. He hugged me. You're not a bad mom. You're the best mom. Don't listen to them. But how could I not listen? They were my family. The next year, I almost didn't go to the reunion. Maybe we should skip it, I told Carlos. Why? Because every year it's the same thing. Comments about the kids, judgmental looks. I'm tired of it. Then we'll skip it. But my mother called, Emma, you're coming to the reunion, right? I don't know, Mom. What do you mean you don't know? It's family tradition. The kids and I don't feel very welcome. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you're welcome. Are we? Because all anyone does is complain about my kids. People just wish they were a little quieter. That's not complaining. That is complaining, Mom. She was quiet for a moment. Just come, please. It won't be the same without you. Against my better judgment, I agreed. That year, Mia was 6, Jake was 4, Sophie was 3, old enough to know when people didn't like them. On the second day, Mia came to me crying. What's wrong, sweetie? Grandma told me I'm too loud. My heart broke. What happened? I was laughing with Jake, and Grandma said, Mia, you're too loud. Use your inside voice. And what did you say? I said we're outside, and she said it doesn't matter. I'm always too loud. I hugged her. You're not too loud, baby. You're perfect just the way you are. But the damage was done. I confronted my mother. Mom, you told Mia she's too loud? She was screaming. She was laughing. She's a kid. There's no need to be so dramatic, Emma. I'm not being dramatic. You hurt her feelings. Oh, please, she'll be fine. No, Mom, she won't be fine. She'll remember that her grandmother thinks she's too loud, too much, not good enough. I never said that. You didn't have to. That night, I told Carlos we were leaving early. We're going home tomorrow. What happened? My mother told Mia she's too loud. Mia was crying. His jaw tightened. Pack the bags. We're leaving first thing. The next morning, my mother was upset. You're leaving early? Yes. Why? Because my kids don't feel welcome here. And honestly, neither do I. Emma, don't be so sensitive. I'm not being sensitive. I'm being a mother, and I'm choosing my kids over hurt feelings. We left. In the car, Mia asked, Did we do something wrong, Mommy? No, baby. You did nothing wrong. You're perfect. This year, the reunion was planned for July. In May, my mother called with the details. So the reunion is July 15th through 18th, same cabin as last year. Okay. Emma, I need to talk to you about something. My stomach dropped. What? Your father and I have been thinking, and we've talked to some other family members. Okay? We think it would be best if this year, the kids didn't come. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What? Just for this 1 year, let the adults have a peaceful reunion. You're uninviting my kids? Not uninviting, just suggesting they stay home this time. Why? She was quiet for a moment. Emma, you know why. No, I don't. Tell me. They're too loud. They run around. They interrupt conversations. They make everything chaotic. They're children. I know, but they're 8, 6, and 4 years old. Of course they're loud. Of course they run around. Other people's children manage to behave. Stop comparing my kids to other kids. My kids are good kids. I didn't say they weren't good. I just said they're loud, and they ruin the peaceful atmosphere. Those words hit me like a punch. They ruin everything? That's not what You just said they ruin the peaceful atmosphere. That's the same as saying they ruin everything. Emma, don't twist my words. I'm not twisting anything. You're uninviting my children because you think they're too loud and ruin everything. We just want one peaceful reunion. Then have your peaceful reunion without me. What? If my kids aren't welcome, then I'm not coming either. Emma, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. You're asking me to leave my kids at home so you can have peace and quiet. That's not reasonable. You're being dramatic. No, I'm being a mother. And I'm telling you that if my kids aren't good enough for your reunion, then neither am I." "Fine," she snapped. "Then don't come at all. We don't need the chaos." I felt like I'd been slapped. "You know what, Mom? You're right. You don't need us. And we don't need to be somewhere we're not wanted." I hung up. My hands were shaking. Carlos came into the room. "What happened?" "She uninvited the kids, said they're too loud and ruin everything." "She said that?" "She said they ruin the peaceful atmosphere, same thing." "So we're not going?" "No, we're not going." He hugged me. "Good. The kids deserve better than that." Over the next few days, I got calls from family members. My aunt, "Emma, just come without the kids. It's one weekend." "No, you're being stubborn." "I'm being a mother." My cousin, "Can't you get a babysitter just for the reunion?" "Why should I have to hide my kids away?" "You're not hiding them. You're just giving everyone a break." "A break from what? From kids being kids?" My uncle, "Emma, think about your parents. This is important to them." "My kids are important to me." "They'll get over it." "No, they won't. They'll remember that their family didn't want them." Even my father called. He'd been quiet through all of this. "Emma, your mother is upset." "I'm upset too, Dad." "Can't we find a compromise?" "What compromise? Either my kids are welcome or they're not." "They're welcome. Your mother just wants—" "Dad, she uninvited them. She said they're too loud and ruin everything." "What part of that says welcome?" He was quiet. "Dad, you've barely spoken to my kids. Do you even know them?" "Of course I know them." "Do you?" "What's Mia's favorite color?" Silence. "What does Jake want to be when he grows up?" More silence. "What's Sophie's favorite stuffed animal?" "Emma." "You don't know, do you? Because you've never bothered to really know them. You just see them as loud, annoying kids." "That's not fair." "Isn't it? When's the last time you played with them? Asked them about their day? Cared about them as people?" He didn't answer. "I wanted you to be good grandparents. I wanted my kids to have what I never had: loud, fun, loving family memories. But instead, they get judged for being themselves." "We're not judging." "Yes, you are, and I'm done pretending it's okay." The reunion came and went. I saw photos on Facebook. Everyone smiling, having a peaceful time. Mia saw the photos. "Why weren't we invited, Mommy?" I sat down with all 3 kids. "Because Grandma and Grandpa wanted a quiet reunion, and you guys are wonderfully loud." "Is being loud bad?" Jake asked. "No, sweetie. Being loud means you're full of life. It means you're happy. It means you're being yourself." "But Grandma doesn't like it," Mia said quietly. "I know, and that makes Mommy sad, because you're amazing just the way you are." "Will Grandma ever like us?" Sophie asked. That question broke my heart. "I don't know, baby, but it doesn't matter, because Mommy and Daddy love you exactly as you are." Carlos added, "And you know who else loves you? Abuela and Abuelo and all the tios and tias." He was right. His family adored our kids, loud and all. "How about we have our own family reunion?" I suggested, "with people who love us for who we are?" "Yes!" All 3 kids cheered, and that's what we did. It's been 3 months since the reunion. I haven't spoken to my parents. They sent one email. "We hope you've calmed down and realized you overreacted." I didn't respond. My kids ask about them sometimes. "Do Grandma and Grandpa miss us?" "I'm sure they do," I say, though I'm not actually sure. Last week, we had our own family reunion at Carlos's parents' house. All of his siblings came with their kids, 15 kids total, all loud, all running around. It was chaos, beautiful, wonderful chaos. "This is how families should be," Carlos said, watching the kids play. He was right. At one point, I saw Mia laughing with her cousins. Really laughing, the loud, joyful laugh that my mother always told her to quiet down. No one told her to be quiet. No one told her she was too loud. She was just herself, and she was loved for it. That's when I knew I made the right choice. My kids don't need grandparents who only love them when they're quiet. They need people who love them for who they are: loud, messy, full of life. Yesterday, I got a letter from my father. I haven't opened it yet. Part of me wants to. Part of me is afraid of what it says. Maybe someday I'll be ready. But right now, I'm focused on my kids, on making sure they grow up knowing they're enough, knowing their voices matter, knowing they don't have to be quiet to be loved. So here's what I learned. Protecting your kids is more important than keeping the peace. For years, I tried to make my kids fit into my parents' quiet world. I told them to be quieter, calmer, less themselves. But they shouldn't have to change who they are to be loved. When my parents uninvited them, they gave me a choice, my parents' approval or my kids' well-being, and that wasn't really a choice at all. Some people think I overreacted, that it was just one weekend. But it wasn't about one weekend. It was about years of comments, years of judgment, years of my kids feeling like they weren't good enough. I wasn't going to let that continue. My kids are loud. And you know what? That's beautiful. It means they feel safe being themselves. It means they're happy. It means they're alive. I refuse to dim their light just to make other people comfortable. So let me ask you something. Have you ever had to choose between family expectations and your kids' happiness? Have you ever had to protect your children from people who were supposed to love them? What did you do? I want to hear your story, because I know I'm not alone in this. So many parents face this choice, and I want you to know, choosing your kids is always the right answer. My name is Emma Rodriguez. My kids are loud, and I wouldn't change them for the world. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support truly means the world to me. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading every single one of them. Each comment inspires me to keep creating stories for you. See you next time.